I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader outside of rebounding her own missed layups. What does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night. And for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
Angel Reese just suffered the most embarrassing performance of her career live on the biggest stage in basketball. At the United Center, the largest arena in the NBA with a sold-out crowd watching on primetime TV, she managed a dismal 4 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Her Chicago Sky were demolished by an astounding 27 points by the Indiana Fever. But here's the brutal truth that seals her public humiliation. The Fever delivered this beatdown without their own generational star, Caitlin Clark, or 2 other crucial players, and even their head coach. This wasn't just a loss, it was a public unraveling, a primetime expose that left a self-proclaimed star completely exposed.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be, but the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
What was supposed to be a triumphant display for Angel Reese instead became a brutal, undeniable exposure of a celebrity masquerading as a superstar. The Chicago Sky, with Reese at their supposed helm, weren't just beaten by the Indiana Fever, they were utterly dismantled, humiliated by an astonishing 27 points. It was a demolition that left a sold-out crowd stunned, and the entire league questioning everything they thought they knew about basketball's newest it girl.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
This wasn't just a game, it was a reckoning, a moment that would forever be etched in the annals of WNBA history as the night the hype met the hard reality of professional performance. What exactly happened during those devastating 27 minutes on the court?
Last night was somewhat of a big moment for Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado. For starters, the WNBA moved the game out of the local dump the Bravado usually play in and relocated to the United Center, which is the largest arena in the NBA, holding over 20,000 people. Now, to their credit, there seemed to be a good crowd in the United Center last night. I had someone who was at the game send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the game starts.
For months, a defiant narrative had been pushed. Angel Reese was just as much a box office draw as Caitlin Clark, that fans tuned in specifically to witness her electrifying presence. Reese herself declared, "The reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want you to realize that." Then came the devastating blow. Caitlin Clark confirmed out with a quad injury. And with that news, the carefully constructed facade around Reese's magnetic pull crumbled.
Oof, what an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
Ticket prices for this marquee matchup, once commanding premium rates for a supposed clash of titans, plummeted, not just dipped, they collapsed. Scalpers initially dreaming of massive profits couldn't give tickets away. Listings for seats in the massive NBA arena, host to this historic WNBA primetime event, were suddenly available for a shocking $3. $3. That's less than a decent cup of coffee, yet it was all people were willing to pay to watch Angel Reese play basketball.
Folks, there were people in the crowd getting there early saying, hey, Caitlin, can you sign my jersey? Hey, Aaliyah, can you sign my shirt? Hey, Sophie, can you sign my picture? There were people asking for autographs in the Chicago Sky crowd that weren't even born yet the last time the Chicago Sky scored this little amount of points. There were people in the crowd who weren't even a thought in their parents' minds at the time that the Chicago Sky last scored at least 52 points, the lowest point total since 2011.
Social media exploded with screenshots of these rock-bottom prices, mocking the idea of Reese as a solo draw. The excitement that had built around Chicago's big moment evaporated faster than a punctured basketball, leaving behind a stark, undeniable truth about who truly held the WNBA's audience captive. The market, it seemed, had spoken loudly and unequivocally about who fans actually wanted to see.
Angel Reese, part 38! Let's get it! Life throws her lemons. She makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching. She is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What?
4 points on 2 of 7 shooting in 27 minutes on primetime TV. This is how you destroy your reputation in real time. The United Center was
But the night's revelations extended beyond just gate receipts, as Angel Reese made her pre-game entrance draped in a meticulously chosen high-fashion ensemble. A different kind of question began to surface. Her boots matched her jacket, her gloves coordinated with her hat. Every detail of her outfit was on point, demanding attention.
As a matter of fact, this might have been the first WNBA game broadcast on CBS in prime time. If it's not the first, it's one of very few. This was a big moment. I'm sure the WNBA would call it historic. Angel Reese is playing in an NBA arena in prime time on network television on Saturday night. Outside of regular season baseball, maybe the College World Series, there was no competition on television. The eyes of the sports world were focused on Angel Reese and the WNBA. And Angel Reese once again proved why no one is watching her.
It begged the question, did Angel Reese invest more time perfecting her pregame catwalk ensemble than she did honing her actual basketball skills? It's a compelling thought, one that invites speculation about where priorities truly lie. The contrast between her carefully curated off-court image and her subsequent on-court performance was jarring, a stark illustration of priorities that seemed, at least on this night, severely misaligned. This wasn't just about an outfit, it was about the implicit message it sent when juxtaposed with the game that followed.
Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Yeah. 9.3 points per assists per game. 9.3 assists per game. Let me just bring it up. To 9.1 points per game.
What truly unfolded on the court was nothing short of a disaster class, a complete collapse on the sport's biggest stage. For 27 agonizing minutes, Angel Reese seemed to disappear, a ghost in her own supposed spotlight. She managed a mere 4 points on a woeful 2 of 7 shooting from the field. It wasn't just missing shots, it was an inability to even reach the rim on critical layups, clanking attempts that had the crowd groaning in disbelief. One of those attempts got completely swatted, the cameras capturing every flicker of frustration and visible defeat on her face as the game spiraled away. For someone hailed as Chicago's superstar and a box office draw, this stat line was brutally embarrassing.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Bang! She should work at housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. To mention no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer a car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel!
That's too many steps and you can't do that.
Consider this chilling fact. Caitlin Clark is averaging more assists per game than Angel Reese is averaging points per game this season. Reese looked utterly lost, making poor decisions, appearing overwhelmed by the moment, and offering no answer to Indiana's defensive pressure. Her offensive struggles went beyond just her. No Chicago player reached double figures in scoring, and the team managed only 52 points, their lowest total since 2011. Yet even in that context of team-wide failure, Reese's performance was the most glaring disappointment. The frustration was palpable, echoing from the court to the stands.
Oof, what an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game of basketball?
What began as excited anticipation quickly dissolved into restless disappointment, with some fans heading for the exits before the final buzzer, despite the historic nature of the game itself. Analysts didn't hold back, with one stating, Angel Reese once again proves she is nowhere near Caitlin Clark's level. This wasn't just a bad game, it was a complete collapse on the biggest stage women's basketball had to offer.
Women's basketball had to offer. The Fever took full advantage of this meltdown without even needing their best player on the court.
But unfortunately, Angel Reese brought her outfit and left her game at home. She brought the nice hat, she brought the nice boots, she brought the nice jacket, she brought the nice gloves, but unfortunately, she left her game at home. 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists in 27 minutes of action, a minus 23 turnovers as the Chicago Sky, without Caitlin Clark, without Sophie Cunningham, without Stephanie Whitehope.
This wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a deeply troubling pattern, one that has become Angel Reese's recurring nightmare against the Indiana Fever. Cast your mind back to May 17th when the Fever absolutely obliterated the Chicago Sky by a staggering 35 points. That earlier blowout wasn't just a bad game, it was the genesis of Reese's humiliation against Indiana.
Angel Reese gets up, Aaliyah Boston shoves her, gives her a little stiffy. Hey, don't come at Caitlin. But look at her, Angel Reese upset. Oh my gosh. Hey man, this was hilarious. Look, Angel Reese was pissed. Look at her, she was still going out there a little bit. Look, took the jersey out. What's going on? Look.
During that matchup, Reese notoriously attempted to physically intimidate Caitlin Clark, getting increasingly aggressive, trying to establish dominance. But her tactics catastrophically backfired. The Fever cruised to one of the most lopsided victories in WNBA history. This pattern has cemented a completely one-sided rivalry. The Fever are now 2-0 against Chicago this season, both games being absolute blowouts, and in both, Reese has been the common denominator in her team's downfall. Social media has been relentless, filled with side-by-side comparisons, highlighting Reese's consistent underperformance when facing Indiana.
I thought Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark were cool, but I don't know, man. The way Angel got up, she was like, Look at her. Ooh. I mean, she was getting after it, fam. Oh my goodness. Now, the funny thing was Caitlin Clark sniffing, walking away. Hold on, let me see if I can get a good angle. Yeah, look. Watch Caitlin Clark's face right here. Watch this.
Her confidence appears to crumble, her aggressive play proves ineffective, and her shot abandons her, leaving her looking utterly lost on the court. What we're witnessing is more than just a few poor games. It's the complete dismantling of Angel Reese's confidence and reputation whenever the Fever are on the opposite side of the court. The question isn't if she'll struggle against them, but how badly.
That clock is winding down. You got to close out with the hand up. Her hands were down, and Howard knocked it down, and that is a travel.
Reese drags the pivot foot, gives the ball back to Indiana. 8 to shoot. Boston this time, working against Reese. Pivots, puts it up.
There's a move.
And here's the most brutal truth, the element that exposes the full extent of this one-sided rivalry. The Indiana Fever didn't need Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, or even their head coach Stephanie White to demolish the Chicago Sky. Think about that for a moment. Indiana was missing 3 absolutely crucial pieces, yet they still delivered a dominant 27-point victory that made the Sky look like a high school team playing against professionals.
No Caitlin Clark, no problem. No Sophie Cunningham, no problem. No head coach Stephanie White, have no fear. The final boss, Austin Kelly, is here. The Chicago Sky, we came into your building and we just, from pillar to post, smacked you guys around.
This victory sent a chilling message to the entire league. No Caitlin Clark, no problem. No Sophie Cunningham, no problem. No Coach White. Austin Kelly, the interim coach, stepped in, and the team didn't miss a beat. Kelsey Mitchell stepped up in a massive way, leading the Fever with 17 efficient points, adding rebounds and assists, showcasing exactly why she's a vital veteran presence. She seized control, never letting Chicago gain any momentum, her leadership undeniable from the opening tip. Even more impressive, Erica Wheeler came off the bench and absolutely torched the Sky with 12 points, including 3 clutch 3-pointers and 4 steals. Wheeler, signed on a hardship contract, immediately made Chicago pay for every single mistake, running the offense like she'd been with the team all season, displaying the kind of basketball IQ that separates true professionals from pretenders.
This time steps right through the heart of the defense and blows by Chicago. The winds off of Lake Michigan. Loses Atkins, step back mini, knocks it down. Oh, the connection to Howard. How about the finish from Mitchell?
And she may be the quickest guard in the league with the ball in her hands.
The Fever's ball movement was a masterclass in basketball fundamentals, recording 20 assists on 27 made field goals, a testament to their team-first mentality that Chicago simply couldn't match. Every possession was fluid, purposeful, while the Sky's efforts looked chaotic and disjointed. Acting head coach Austin Kelly deserves immense credit for keeping this team laser-focused and executing their game plan flawlessly. He emphasized defense, stating post-game, "Our best defense is when our offense is clicking. We set the tone from the jump and never looked back." Natasha Howard contributed 13 efficient points. Aliyah Boston added 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And even Lexi Hull reached a career milestone of 500 points during the blowout.
But both teams facing a little bit of adversity, having certain players out or not at full capacity.
McDonald, a huge triple in the corner. Mitchell, patient in the corner, flips it up top. Boston, other side. McDonald, another 3. I'm loving it.
This balanced scoring and contributions from every player demonstrated the true depth of this Fever roster. They held Chicago to a dismal 52 points through relentless lockdown defense and smart rotations, forcing turnovers, contesting every shot, and making the Sky fight for every single point they managed to scrape together. They dominated the boards, taking away Chicago's strength for second chance points, showcasing high-level effort and execution of the scout report. This win proved the Fever are not merely a one-person show. They are a legitimate title contender with or without their biggest star on the court.
Great job. All right, great job.
Thanks, Daddy.
It started for us on the defensive end. We set the tone from the jump and never looked back. All right. Their starters, 8 for 29 from the field.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a job. Great attention to detail. That's less than 30%. We held them 32% for the game.
This United Center performance hasn't just marked a single bad game. It has cemented a narrative. The Indiana Fever are ascending, a formidable force built on depth, resilience, and a championship mentality. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky and their self-proclaimed star, Angel Reese, appeared to be falling apart, their weaknesses exposed in the harshest possible light. Reese's 4-point disaster on national television exposed the stark, one-sided reality of this rivalry, firmly placing it in Indiana's favor.
All right, great job there. All right, we won the boards. All right, and they're a second chance points team. All right, we won that area as well. Yeah. Taking away their strengths was something that we did a great job of. All right,
No, just extremely proud of y'all. We stayed locked in, we stayed together, we executed the scout at a very high level. Just multiple levels of effort. Everything that we've asked of you today, we put it in there, and from now, again, stacking days, building on those moments where we're stringing those possessions together, right? Building on those great possessions on defense and on offense. Great, hell of a job, y'all. High level.
The Fevers demonstrated strength and cohesion, even without their core players, positions them as serious championship contenders heading into 2025, proving they can dominate opponents regardless of who's on the court. Caitlin Clark, scheduled for reevaluation soon, could potentially return as early as next week. Imagine what happens when Clark, an already dominant force, rejoins this Indiana team, a team that doesn't even need her to utterly crush their rivals by 27 points. It begs the ultimate question: after such a public, repeated unraveling, can Angel Reese ever truly claim her place among the league's elite, or will she forever be defined by these humbling defeats and the towering shadow of a rival she simply cannot overcome? The answer, it seems, is unfolding before our very eyes, painting a clear picture of dominance and disappointment for the world to witness.